Reattracting a partner who has begun to drift away is a process that requires a delicate balance of psychological awareness, strategic silence, and a commitment to personal evolution. When you notice that interest is waning, the natural human response is often rooted in a sense of panic or urgency, leading to behaviors that ironically push the other person further away. To truly reestablish a connection, you must understand that attraction is not just about physical appearance or surface level charm. It is fundamentally rooted in the concepts of emotional regulation, social validation, and the establishment of a perceived safe environment. The first and perhaps most critical strategy in this process is the mastery of communication, specifically the discipline of avoiding overcommunication. When a partner is losing interest, they are often in a state of cognitive or emotional overload. They are trying to process their own feelings, your history together, and the potential of a future apart. If you flood them with long, explanatory text messages or intense emotional declarations, you are essentially slowing down their processing speed. This is known as emotional flooding, a state where the nervous system is overwhelmed, making it impossible for the person to feel genuine attraction or connection. By keeping your communication concise, direct, and focused, you allow her the mental space to miss you and to process her emotions at her own pace. This lack of pressure creates a vacuum that her natural interest can eventually fill. Think of it as leaving room in a conversation for the other person to breathe. Without that oxygen, the flame of attraction simply cannot burn. The biological reality is that when a woman feels flooded, her amygdala takes over, triggering a fight or flight response. Your goal is to keep her in the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for logical reasoning and connection. Moving beyond just the frequency of communication, we must look at the quality of your emotional expression, particularly when it comes to frustration. As a man, how you handle negative emotions is a primary indicator of your overall stability and leadership potential. Expressing overt anger, even if justified, can often be interpreted as a lack of self regulation. Anger is a heavy, volatile emotion that can make a woman feel unsafe or at least deeply uncomfortable. Instead of expressing raw anger, a much more effective and attractive strategy is to reframe your frustration as disappointment. This is a subtle yet profound shift. Anger often feels like an attack, whereas disappointment signals that you have high standards and a level of personal discipline that allows you to remain calm under pressure. If she cancels a plan, for instance, don't react with a fiery outburst or passive aggressive remarks. Instead, explain that you are disappointed because you value your time and the plans you made, then state that you need a moment to process that feeling before reconnecting later. This behavior demonstrates that you are not controlled by your impulses. It shows that you have the internal fortitude to handle setbacks with grace, which is a highly attractive trait. It signals that you are an emotionally safe harbor in a chaotic world. Speaking of safety, we must address the concept of social proof and how it influences a partner's perception of you. Humans are social creatures, and we often look to the group to validate our choices. This is an evolutionary mechanism designed to ensure survival and resource security. If a woman has lost interest, she may be doubting her original assessment of your value or your character. Re-engaging in your social circles and meeting new people provides what psychologists call social proof. When she sees you interacting confidently with others, or when she knows that you are being vetted and accepted by a wider group, it reassures her that you are a safe and valuable individual. It removes the subconscious fear that she might be making a mistake by being with you. Women are naturally more cautious due to various societal and biological factors, and seeing you in a positive social light acts as a form of external validation. It proves that you are a man of character who is respected by his peers. This doesn't mean you should try to make her jealous through artificial means. Rather, it means you should demonstrate that you have a rich, active life that exists independently of her presence. This independence is magnetic because it signifies high status and low neediness. It shows that you are not dependent on her for your social or emotional well being, which in turn reduces the pressure on her and makes you more intriguing to her. Furthermore, the way you handle accountability through apologies is a key factor in reattraction. Many men fall into the trap of over apologizing, which can look like a lack of self respect. If you have made mistakes, A long, rambling apology often feels like an attempt to manipulate or placate her rather than taking genuine responsibility. A concise, action oriented apology, however, shows true strength. Acknowledge what happened, state your regret once, and most importantly, change the behavior immediately. The phrase, hold me to it, is incredibly powerful because it invites accountability and shows a lack of defensiveness. It shows that you are invested in your own growth and that you have the self esteem to acknowledge your flaws without being destroyed by them. People with high self esteem are those who treat themselves as an investment rather than a finished product. Just as you might invest in your education or your career through continuous learning, you must invest in your character. When she sees you taking active steps to be a better man, not for her, but for your own standards, it signals that you are a person of high value and integrity. This brings us to the importance of direct communication in all aspects of your life, not just within the relationship. Being a man who says what he means and means what he says is incredibly grounding for a partner. It removes the guesswork and the anxiety of trying to read between the lines. When you are direct, you are providing a map for the relationship, which again contributes to that essential feeling of safety. In your conversations, don't be afraid to share the positive developments in your life. Many men make the mistake of becoming a closed book when they feel rejected, thinking that mystery will reattract her. While some level of mystery is good, a total lack of sharing creates an emotional void. Share your plans for the weekend, your professional goals, or even small victories you had at the gym or in your hobbies. This builds an intimate connection through shared reality and narrative progression. It allows her to see the world through your eyes and makes you a real, multidimensional person rather than just a source of stress or conflict. It shows that your life is moving forward with or without her, which ironically makes her want to be a part of it. Finally, we must discuss the establishment of reasonable boundaries. Boundaries are not about controlling the other person or issuing ultimatums. They are about protecting your own peace and demonstrating your values. If your boundaries are too harsh or too rigid, you will push people away through intimidation. However, if they are too soft or non existent, people will lose respect for you because you seem like a doormat. The key to healthy attraction is consistency. A boundary that is set and then immediately broken because you want her attention is worse than no boundary at all, as it shows that your words have no weight and your self respect is negotiable. By maintaining steady, reasonable boundaries, you create a predictable environment. Predictability is a massive component of safety for women. When a woman knows what to expect from you, when she knows what you will and will not tolerate, she can relax her guard. She doesn't have to be on guard against inconsistency, and in that state of relaxation, attraction can blossom once again. Reattraction is not a single event or a magic trick. It is a series of consistent high value behaviors that shift the emotional climate between two people over time. It starts with the internal work of emotional regulation and mastery over your own reactions. It moves to the external world through social proof and the demonstration of a life well lived. And it is sustained through the clarity of your communication and the integrity of your boundaries. By focusing on becoming a safe, accountable, and socially validated man, you aren't just trying to win someone back. You are building a version of yourself that is inherently attractive to anyone lucky enough to be in your orbit. This journey requires patience and a willingness to stay the course even when results aren't immediate. Remember that interest is often like a tide. It goes out, but with the right environmental conditions, it will naturally return to the shore. Your job is to ensure that when it does return, it finds a shore that is stable, welcoming, and worth staying on for the long haul. This is about more than just a relationship. It is about your own self respect and the standard you set for how you engage with the world. When you value yourself as an investment, others will naturally begin to see that value as well. Every time you choose to react with disappointment rather than anger, every time you choose a concise apology over a defensive rant, and every time you step out into your social world with confidence, you are reinforcing your own value. These small daily choices accumulate into a powerful presence that is difficult for her to ignore. Stay committed to the process of self improvement and maintain your focus on creating safety through consistency. This is the path to lasting reattraction and, more importantly, to a life of personal integrity and fulfillment that will serve you well regardless of any single relationship outcome. If you are struggling with the specifics of your situation, remember to take a step back and view things through the lens of psychological safety. Ask yourself if your current actions are adding to the emotional flooding or if they are providing the space needed for connection to regrow. Often, the best thing you can do for a relationship is to focus entirely on your own mission and your own growth. When you are genuinely excited about your life and your future, that energy is infectious. It draws people towards you and makes them want to be part of your journey. This is the essence of true attraction, being a man of such substance and stability that others naturally gravitate toward your light. As you move forward, keep these principles in mind and trust in the process of emotional discipline. Your consistency will eventually speak louder than any words ever could. By being a man who respects himself enough to set boundaries and who is disciplined enough to regulate his emotions, you provide a rare and valuable experience for a partner. You become the exception in a world of reactive and inconsistent behavior. This distinction is what ultimately leads to a deep and lasting reattraction, founded not on temporary fixes, but on a solid foundation of mutual respect and emotional security. As you continue to refine these skills, you will find that they improve not just your romantic life, but your professional relationships and your own sense of self worth as well. The investment you make in yourself today will pay dividends for years to come. Stay focused, stay disciplined, and remember that you are the architect of your own character. The work you do now is setting the stage for the next chapter of your life, one where you lead with confidence and attract the kind of high quality connections you truly deserve. It is a journey of 1,000 small steps, each one bringing you closer to the man you are meant to be. Embrace the process and let your growth be your greatest advocate. By focusing on your internal world, you will find that the external world begins to align with your new standard of excellence. This is the true power of psychological reattraction. It starts from within and radiates outward, changing everything in its path. Keep striving for that balance of empathy and authority, and you will see the results in every interaction. Your growth is the most powerful tool you have. Use it wisely and consistently, and you will create the safety and interest necessary for a thriving, healthy relationship to reemerge from the ashes of past misunderstandings. This is your opportunity to redefine yourself and your future. Take it seriously because you are worth the effort. Every day is a chance to reinforce your value. Every silence is a chance for her to reflect. Every social interaction is a chance to prove your safety and competence. This is the blueprint for a man who is not only reattractive, but truly irreplaceable in the eyes of a partner who values strength, consistency, and emotional intelligence. Proceed with confidence and resolve.